Hello, my name is Jesse Hambrick. I'm a sergeant here at the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. I'm with Rick Martin, who is the Director of Communications for Douglas County. We're here today to address a growing concern that we're hearing from our community about rumors of threats and potential threats to our school system, to our schools. And we have kind of racked our brains about what's the best way to address this, and really just kind of wanted to sit down in a very quick video to explain some things that our community can do to help us, and then Rick, as a parent, you have the opportunity to kind of ask those questions, act as our representative for the community.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think what's important for many of our viewers to know is we need your help. Parents, students, we need your help. What Sergeant Hambrick is saying is we cannot be successful without members of the community. That's the bottom line. So what I think is important, especially me as a parent, for students in the school system here in Douglas County, I have some questions that I want answered, and I think Sergeant Hambrick is the best person that could do that, a member of our law enforcement. If a student hears a threat, what's the first thing they should do?
Yeah. So one of the problems that we're having, I'll tell you what we're seeing and then what they should do.
Sure.
A lot of times when parents or our students are seeing a threat, generally on social media or maybe hearing rumors of that going around the school, a couple of the issues that we're having, number one, they're waiting sometimes as much as a week or more to report this. Sometimes the parents are actually asking their kids to go and report this to the school, and this is a parental thing that the parents should be calling. And then number three is that we're not getting the information that we really need to get, because instead of reporting it to law enforcement, they're reporting it to the school. So those are the problems that we're having. What we really need to have happen is the understanding that we take every threat seriously. Every threat has to be considered credible until it's not credible. And so what we do with it, like any other crime, we would ask you, our community, our parents, and our students, if you hear a threat or you hear rumors of a threat, we want you to contact us immediately, the Sheriff's Department. That means picking up the phone and calling 911 and asking a deputy to come out and telling them what you know. That will trigger a lot of resources that we have that the school doesn't have readily available to them.
Even at nights and on the weekends?
I spend a lot of time late at night and on the weekends, because the key to that is we don't want to wait till the next morning or days later, because then if someone does have a plan, then they can carry that plan out before we even know about it, if that is the case. So we will go out at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night and actually run down these leads, speak to these people, search homes to make sure that there's no weapons, check on the person's mental state of mind. We can subpoena information from social media. We just have so many tools that we can put in place right then and there and get to the problem and resolve the problem before the first bus picks up the first kid, that following morning or Monday.
So tell me something, what about if a student comes across social media, or a parent, and they see from a social media a threat that way? What can they do? What should they do?
It's a great question. So one of the things that we ask our parents or even our students to do, and the kids are more savvy than the parents are, I know how that is, but we want screenshots. And the really two important thing, if they can get a capture, is the actual name of the account, whether it be the handle, the name, the user name. We need to know who is actually posting. So who made the threat, the username, and then an actual capture of the threat that was made. That is critical evidence, because sometimes it's deleted and gone before we can get to it, and then we have to go through a subpoena process, which is a lot longer. So we really need their help in collecting the information that will lead us to hopefully disprove that this is actually a threat.
Gotcha. Tell me something, can you speak a little more to, because I know before working for the county, I used to feel a little hesitant about dialing 911 because I didn't think things were such an emergency at that point. You know, I sort of,
Hesitant.
yeah, I'm sort of hesitant because I'm not clear, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But now that I work for the county and I understand how certain processes occur, I see how vitally important it is. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, actually, that's a great point that some people don't know when to call. And I will say this, and I often joke, 911, that's our telephone number. And so you kind of have to think of it that way. We don't want people calling us all the time for non-emergency things, but a threat to a school is a critical emergency. That is something that is well deserving of a 911 call. And so we would ask that they, call us, pick the phone up, dial 911 and say, hey, I just saw this threat on social media, or my child just came home. And we then can use that information to begin to turn that around for our benefit. And the other thing that I want to make that's such a good point of that, you're not going to get in trouble for that. Kids are not going to get in trouble for coming forward and relaying information, even if it's a rumor. We don't want to have kids. I had a parent that I talked to this week that was concerned about getting in trouble with law enforcement. The kids are concerned. And I understood, I heard that, I listened, I digested that. We're not here to get kids in trouble. What we don't want to do is have them reposting or retweeting or putting information on social media on their own, because that technically could get them in trouble.
Gotcha.
If it's not good information. So we really cut all that out, go straight to the source, dial 911, and in a nutshell, to explain to everyone, that deputy will respond, he'll call his supervisor, who will then make phone contact with my supervisor, who will call and wake me up in the middle of the night and say, hey, Sergeant Hambrick, I have a threat against this school, and I immediately, no matter what time, begin digging and trying to get some resolution. We actually have a list that we teach our teachers, and if we have any teachers out there that are watching that want to know what these questions are, we have 3 basic questions that we ask to try to begin to find out if we're chasing our tails or if we're actually chasing someone who is a threat. And that is, did we hear a direct threat, or did you hear someone threaten the school?
Gotcha.
The second question is, can you give us a name of the person or a person who threatened or heard the direct threat? And is there any contact information that we can get, a telephone or maybe even a Facebook page or whatever? Because I'll tell you that parents need to know that 99% of the time when their kids come on and say, well, I heard from someone who heard it from someone who heard it from someone, there's no validity to it. And we need specifics.
And you need direct information,
Specifically.
information that's attributable.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because the other stuff is unreliable, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a rumor. And that's what we're dealing with today, is we have 2 or 3 issues going on throughout the school system, and we have parents that are responding to rumors, and then they see it on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or Twitter, and then they tweet it to their friends, and parents talk, and everybody's talking about this issue, but yet sometimes as much as a week or more goes by before they ever contact law enforcement. It is critically important that the federal government passed this, used this slogan, if you see something, say something. And that's what we want our viewers, our people, our community to know. If you see something, immediately call 911 and say something, because we will work tirelessly through the night to get to the bottom of whether it's true or not true. And that's, I think, the key thing.
Tell us a little bit about the collaboration that the Douglas County Sheriff's Office has with the City of Douglasville's Police Department. I know how well you guys work together because some schools are in city limits. As a parent, I want to know, are you guys communicating effectively?
Yeah. So a couple of things I think are great that I'd like to play off on that question is, Number one, we train. The SROs that are in the Douglas County school system.
And for those who don't know what SROs are,
school resource officers, the deputies who are assigned to the schools, that are called SROs, we train only second to what we call the CERT team, which most people know as a SWAT team. So our SWAT team trains tirelessly throughout the year. The SROs are the second most trained unit in the sheriff's office for active shooters. These guys and gals, they are trained. They do their job. They know these kids. And we work very close in training as well as in every day with Douglasville City Police Department, of course, the fire department, of course, the school system. And so I am, I have text and phone capabilities to text the supervisor for the city. If I hear of a threat against Douglas County High School, which is in the city, I immediately begin texting, Jeff Taylor with the city, the sergeant with their unit, saying, hey, have you heard this? Here's what we know. And he does the same, for us. So the school, I'll be honest with you, I've stayed up some nights in a group chat, a group text message with, a principal, a teacher, my supervisor. We'll have 4 or 5, the SRO, we'll have 4 or 5 people that are texting, trying to resolve this issue before the next school day so that we know when those kids show up on Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock that this has been resolved and handled, and then we can deal with, the rest from there. But a couple other things just real quickly as we get ready to end up, because this is, I thought, really important for us. Again, calling law enforcement and not the school. Not messaging someone, not sending an email, not a text message, calling 911 and getting this reported immediately to law enforcement is key. Not waiting, and don't have your kids go and report what they hear. Have the parent call. It's a parent job. The parent needs to do it.
Gotcha.
Getting those screenshots to make sure that we get usernames, comments, those kind of things is key. And then, of course, making sure that they are not fueling the fire by reposting and retweeting and putting pictures out there of things that don't really do any good.
So just for clarity, if a student or a parent sees a threat on social media via one of the social media websites, they should not retweet that, correct?
No, we do not want them to.
That should not be shared.
Yes, it's just bad information, and if it's bad information, which usually it is, 99.9% of the time, that bad information is then retweeted and resent and shared all the way. And then, so now you have one scrap of bad information now that the whole entire county is panicking about. You can call at any given time. You can call me and get in touch with me, or with the school if you have questions about general safety concerns and issues. But I don't even want you to call me if you see a threat. I want that first initial call to go to 911, let the triggers take place that get people in motion, and let us begin to address these. I know we're going to have comments on this, and we're going to respond as best we can to those comments. As we see them, we'll post numbers and information for people to call. I appreciate you being here with me today.
Sure.
Last minute, as a parent and as a friend.
It's about.
We want your kids to be safe. So thank you.
Thank you.